Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today this video is going to be about, as you read in the title, the return of track and field athletics. So without further ado, let's get into it. So athletics has been making its way back into our lives, but not in the same way as we would normally have thought. It needs to come back in the way that it's cooperating with the guidelines set from the coronavirus, and it seems to have done a good job about that. So the first thing I want to mention is the Impossible Games that happened last week on the 11th of June. I have got a laptop here, so I might be looking into it and referring back to things that I've written down. But the Bislett Games, the Impossible Games at the Bislett Stadium in Oslo that happened on the 11th of June. So a couple of the competitions leading up that's going to be leading up after this is going to be a similar format to this, but this is the first one, the first competition that's actually done this. It cooperated athletes from around the world running in different stadiums around the world competing against each other. So I'm going to read out a couple of notable performances that actually happened at these games. So first of all, the notable performance I want to mention first is the Ingebrigtsen brothers, who competed at the Zurich Stadium against a team of Kenyans who competed in Nairobi. They both competed over the 2,000 meters, but the times that the Ingebrigtsen brothers ran was absolutely phenomenal. Jakob Ingebrigtsen actually broke the European record in a time of 4 minutes 50.01 seconds, and in that race as well, his brother Philippe Ingebrigtsen actually broke the 1,000 meter record, national record as well, so the Norwegian record, in a time of 2 minutes 16.46 seconds, which again, it was a super fast time. So the next athlete that I want to talk about is Kristen Varham, who competed at the Bislett Games in the 300 meter hurdles and actually broke the world record. He ran by himself. He ran a time of 33.78 seconds and looked absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. He looked super strong. Stride pattern was amazing. He just looked such a good athlete. So obviously, in this lockdown and not being able to train properly, he has not lost much strength and much speed. So it's all looking good for him going into next year, and more races along the line for this year. So the next event I want to talk about is the pole vault, and it wasn't the most spectacular of competitions, but it just had a couple of big names in. So first of all, let's talk about Armand Duplantis, who actually won the event in 5.86 meters, and he competed in the stadium as well, and he looked very good doing these jumps. So hopefully later on in this season he's going to be able to improve, because obviously it's not been perfect conditions this year with the coronavirus and things and not being able to compete. But for the pole vaulters, they've got stuff in the back garden to be able to vault and things, so these guys should be able to be on top form when they need to be. But in second place we had a Renault Lavillenie, which brings me on to my having pole vaults at home. He actually finished second in 5.81 meters and competed in his back garden in France, and it'll be decent to see if it's actually going to be given as a competition jump, but we will see. And he also looked good doing them jumps as well. But last but not least, I want to talk about an athlete called Lynn Kloster, who actually broke the national Norwegian record for the 200 meter hurdles and ran 26.11 seconds. So it's nice that we can talk about all these athletes that have broken these big records and European records and world records and national records. But still, for me, I just think it might be a little bit too soon to be coming back when you can't compete properly. What's the point in coming back and racing by yourself like it's a training run, regardless of whether you break the world record or not, or competing in your back garden, when maybe it's best if we just stay at home, train, and then come out when it's actually safe to actually compete against each other in a stadium with spectators. But that is just my opinion, and maybe a lot of you agree with me, maybe you don't. But let's move on to my next point I want to talk about. So the next competition I want to talk about is the Inspiration Games, which is happening on the 9th of July at Zurich. It's going to be a total of 30 athletes competing over 8 disciplines from 7 stadiums around the world. So that's where it's going to be quite similar to the Impossible Games that happened in Oslo, but this is going to be Zurich. But this is where it's going to get a little bit different. It is going to be a 3-way event, meaning it's going to be the Europeans versus Americans versus the rest of the world. So they've actually given an example here of what's going to happen. So over the 150 meters that they're going to have, so it's not going to be full-on normal disciplines like the 100, 200, 400, 800, 15. It might be different events like the Impossible Games where they have 300-meter hurdles, 200-meter hurdles. But here they've given an example of they're going to do a 150-meter race. Amajinga Kambunji, who is a Swiss international, she's going to be competing at the Zurich Stadium by herself, competing over the 150. But for Team USA, Allyson Felix, who is a 6-time Olympic champion, is going to be competing in California for Team USA over the 150 meters. And then for the rest of the world, it's going to be the 400-meter Olympic champion and world silver medalist over 400 meters from last year, Shauna Miller-Uibo, who is going to be competing in Florida for the rest of the world. So again, all these athletes are probably going to be competing by themselves. I don't know if it's going to be actually given a proper competition result, or it might just be a training run time or what, but these athletes are getting a taste of competition back, but they will be doing it by themselves as a time trial. So again, I am not 100% sure if this is the most amazing thing to happen. Okay, you're going to be getting race fit maybe a little bit, you're going to be enjoying some competition, but like I said earlier, should we really just be staying at home, training hard, doing your time trials with your coach, only running 95% and not trying to run all out and getting injured, when at the back end of the season we're going to be having more of a competition based races? It's just a little bit, even though I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to love watching it and it's going to be exciting, I just don't know if it's going to be the best thing for these athletes to be doing. But like I said, I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. And if any of the points that I've made so far about the Impossible Games or the Inspiration Games, if you agree with me or if you don't, if you got any other points, please let me know down in the comments and we can have a discussion and I will reply back to you all. But let's move on to the last bit I want to talk about. So, the Diamond League. We haven't had any Diamond League races as of yet this season, but the Diamond League announced last week that they're going to be having a little mini-series, and it's not going to be a 14-race series where everyone accumulates points and the highest athletes that have the most points will get put into a final at the end of the competitions. No, they've announced that it's going to be a series of 12 to 13 events that are going to be just one-off races and one-off events. But they've announced that they're going to be coming back, and I'm just going to read off now all the competitions that they've announced and the times and the dates. So here it goes. So the first competition is Monaco on the 14th of August. So this one annoys me a little bit because this is the first race on the 14th of August, and these have announced that they are taking away all throws from this year's competition and will bring them back next year. So to me, why only prioritise the track athletes? Why is that fair? And if you can't possibly put field athletes on an event, why are you going to have it? You might as well scrap it and wait until you can put field events on, because it's just unfair and it's not right. However much I do love track, I think the field events and the field athletes deserve just as much respect and as much praise as any other athlete, because just prioritising the track athletes just isn't right and it's unfair. How do you think it's going to make the field eventers feel, thinking, oh, well, they don't want me, they only want track athletes? It's not fair and it's not right, and I think the event should be cancelled until they feel they can put on a proper competition with field events. But let's move on. The next competition or the next event is going to be in Gateshead on the 16th of August. It's going to be in England. It's going to be in Gateshead. We've not been up in Gateshead for a while now, and it's a beautiful stadium. And I've competed it a few times as a junior, and it's really, really, really nice. The next event is Stockholm on the 23rd of August. Again, Stockholm. I love Stockholm because I feel like it looks a bit like a castle. It's a beautiful stadium. I love it, but it always seems to rain when they have that competition on. Then it's in Lausanne, which again is a bit of a smaller stadium, and it always used to be on the Golden League and the B circuit, but it always generates really good athletes, really good atmosphere, and some fast times. And the next one, so Lausanne's on the 2nd of September, Stockholm's on the 23rd of August, and Brussels is the next one on the 4th of September. And Brussels is normally a final event, so one of the finals, and probably my favourite competition of them all, just because I love the stadium. I think the stadium's gorgeous, and it just gives me the feels, and I really, really enjoy that stadium. So that's on the 4th of September. Then it's Paris on the 6th of September, which made me sad that they moved it from the Olympic Stadium to a smaller stadium in Paris. But again, such a nice venue and such a good competition. Then I'm not sure how this is going to work. Maybe it's something that's going to give the athletes, the throwing athletes and the track athletes to compete. They've got a competition in Rome and Naples on the 17th of September. So maybe the track athletes will compete at one of the stadiums, and the field athletes will compete at the other stadium. But I'm not sure how that's going to work, so it's going to be exciting to find out. So that's on the 17th of September. Then one of the first competitions that the Diamond League normally has, it's on the 19th of September, and that's in Shanghai. And again, the Shanghai Stadium is incredible. I just wish more spectators would show up to that competition, because it's never full, but it's such a good event and such a beautiful stadium. Then the 4th of October, one of my favourites again, Eugene, the 4th of October, brand new stadium, beautiful stadium. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be packed. It's going to have all the athletes. It's going to be some fast times. I'm looking forward to it, and I am excited. And then normally the first race on the Diamond League circuit, Doha, the 9th of October. Gonna be fast, gonna be warm, fast times, let's do it. And the final one that they've announced, which I don't think we've been here before, it used to be, and it probably still is, a B circuit race in China. Whether that's going to be in Beijing, it just says China. Whether it's going to be in Beijing, whether it's going to be at the Burnett Stadium, the Olympic Stadium, I'm not sure, but it's another competition. It's going to be good. It's going to be fast. I am excited. But this is where I'm going to leave the competition. If you agree with anything I've said or disagree, comment down below and we can have a good conversation. Please like, please subscribe, please get the bell on, and get ready for the next video next week. And I will see you later. Thank you.